Everyone talks about glow up, but here's the truth. Most women never actually transform. Welcome back to Love By. I'm Adria, your host, this space where we keep it raw, unfiltered, and talk about life, love, and everything in between. Before we dive in, I just want to give you a quick disclaimer. This episode is for educational and personal growth purposes, is not a substitute for professional therapy or medical guidance. Glow ups aren't built on pretty planners, good intentions, or waiting for motivation. Glow ups are built on discipline. Discipline is what separates the woman who stays the same from the woman who transforms her entire life. I want us to talk about some questions so that we can reflect. Like, when was the last time you actually felt like the version of yourself you imagined? Do you ever feel like she's in there, but life, motherhood, work, or relationships drowns her out? What would it mean for you, not for your kids, not for your partner, not for your friends, but for you to finally step into that version? And that's what I want us to dive into today. Let's talk about how to become her, the woman who shows up fully, unapologetically, and with the glow that comes from discipline, not just desire. Most women can tell you who they are to everyone else. I'm a mom, I'm a partner, I'm an employee, I'm a caregiver. But ask them this: who are you outside of your roles? And I bet you that silence will follow. And maybe that silence feels familiar to you right now because sometimes, somewhere in between diapers, deadlines, relationships, and responsibilities, your identity got buried. You stopped asking, who am I becoming? And you started asking, who needs me today? And of course, I'm going to share stats with you guys. And stats will show us that 53% of mothers say they often put their personal identity on hold to meet family needs. Over half, and let's be real, that number feels even higher. So here's the powerful question I want you to sit with. If I ask you to describe her, that woman you want to become, what would you say? Is she disciplined? Is she confident? Is she peaceful? Is she financially free? Is she strong in her boundaries? Is she glowing from the outside because she knows her worth? And if you know her so clearly, why haven't you allowed yourself to become her yet? Sit with that for a second. Really ask yourself, what's been standing in the way? Is it guilt, fear, comfort, or maybe the story you've told yourself that now isn't the time? But in reality, when is the time? And here's the truth: becoming her isn't about waiting for the perfect season. It's when the kids are older, or when you have more money, or when life slows down. Becoming her is less about what you dream and more about what you're willing to do daily. And if this is already hitting you, pause right there and subscribe, because week after week, I'm going to keep asking you these kinds of questions. The ones that shake you, the ones that make you uncomfortable, but the ones that wake you up into who you really are. And I wouldn't want you guys to miss it. Motivation is a feeling. Discipline is a decision. Let that sink in for a minute. Motivation is like that rush of energy you feel and you get at the beginning, the excitement of starting a new diet, maybe downloading a new planner or singing, or maybe signing up for the gym. It feels good. But here's the truth: motivation is temporary, it's fragile, it fades the moment life gets hard. Discipline now. Discipline is different. Discipline is what you choose when the feelings fade. Discipline is what shows up at 6 a.m. and when you don't want to get out of bed. Discipline is what says, I promised myself, so I'm keeping that promise. And stats will show us that it takes an average of 66 days for a new habit to become automatic. Think about that. That means for 2 months, you won't feel like it. You have to choose. You have to choose discipline before it becomes natural to you. So let me ask you this. How many times have you started strong because you felt motivated, only to quit the moment that excitement wore you off? And I've been there. I've definitely been there. I think it's completely normal to feel motivated and then the excitement just wears off. What would you like your life to look like if you stopped chasing motivation and instead trained your discipline muscle? Now, imagine yourself 66 days from today. What if every day between now and then you kept just one promise to yourself? Who would you be? Here's a picture. Motivation is buying the workout clothes, when discipline is putting them on when you'd rather stay in bed. Motivation is creating a budget. Discipline is saying no to Starbucks runs because you're focused on financial freedom. Motivation is writing a to-do list. Discipline is checking off the task even when Netflix is calling your name. Motivation starts the fire. Discipline keeps it burning. And I want you to really sit with this. Discipline is love. It's self-love in action. Because every time you show up for yourself, even when you don't feel like it, you're proving you are worthy of the life you want. If this is speaking to you right now, take a moment to subscribe, share this episode with another woman you know who's been waiting on motivation to strike. Because let's be honest, if she's waiting for motivation, she's going to be waiting forever. What she needs is the reminder. Discipline is the real glow up. We love the idea of becoming her. We don't love the process. We want the glow up without the grind. We want the results without the struggle. But here's the truth. The struggle isn't a detour. The struggle is the path. Think about it. The woman you're becoming is built in the days you don't want to show up. She's shaped in the moments when quitting feels easier. She's revealed every single time you push through resistance and do the thing anyways. And stats will show us that 27% of adults say willpower is the biggest barrier to change. But here's the powerful part. People who set clear plans and track their habits are 42% more successful at sticking with change. So, what does that mean? It means the difference between staying stuck and becoming her is not about being stronger or better. It's about learning to recommit after you stumble. So, let me ask you, what's the story you tell yourself when you fall off track? Don't you say, I'm lazy, I'm tired, I'll never get it right, maybe this just isn't for me? Would you let your child quit learning to walk after falling once or twice or 100 times? No. You cheer them on. You'll clap for every wobble, every attempt. So why don't you extend yourself the same grace? And here's the secret. Discipline isn't about you never fail. Discipline means you keep getting up over and over again. Let me be real with you. There'll be mornings when my alarm goes off and my body says no. There's nights where I should be going to sleep and I just don't. There's times that I honestly do not want to show up. But guess what? I told myself that I have to show up for myself no matter what. There'll be weeks where life feels chaotic and your discipline will slip. It happens. And in those moments, you'll be tempted to quit, to say, maybe I'm not cut out for this, maybe another time. But hear me, the struggle doesn't mean you're failing, it means you're becoming. What if you reframed your struggle as proof that you're on the right track? What if instead of beating yourself up, you choose to recommit every single time? Because here's the truth. Every stumble is an invitation to rise stronger. If this message is hitting your heart right now, pause and subscribe. Just listen to this alone, share it with another woman you love who's in the middle of struggle. She might need this reminder. She's not failing, she's becoming. And we've spoken about who she is. We've talked about discipline. We've talked about struggle. But now let's get practical because becoming her doesn't happen in one giant leap. It happens in small daily habits that stack up over time. And research will show us that 40% of what you do every single day is driven by habits, not conscious decisions. That means almost half of your life is being shaped by the routines you've created, whether they're intentional or not. So you want to glow up. Don't choose massive overnight transformations. Master the micro disciplines. And that might look like, let's start at the very beginning of your day because how you start determines how you carry everything else. You don't need a 2 hour routine or a fancy setup, just a few intentional minutes that reminds you of who you're becoming. And that's where your morning rituals come in. Now, your morning sets the tone, right? But here's the truth. It doesn't matter how strong your ritual is if you spend the rest of your day saying yes to the things that drain you. That's why the next discipline is about boundaries, learning to protect your energy so you can actually sustain your glow up. And once you start saying no to what drains you, you create room for small, intentional yeses. This is where habits stacking comes in. Attaching a tiny discipline to something you already do, it's one of the simplest ways to sneak discipline into your everyday life without feeling overwhelmed. But here's a mistake so many women make. They practice discipline, but they never stop to celebrate it. And if you don't celebrate, you start believing you're not making progress. That's why the last habit I want to share is celebrating the small wins, because those tiny moments of recognition are what builds your confidence to keep you moving. So hear me. It's not one giant leap that celebrates your glow up. It's these small daily disciplines, morning rituals, boundaries, stacking, and celebrating wins. That's what quietly rewires your identity. And when you stack them day after day, the discipline becomes who you are. But let's close this out on a deeper level because habits are the action steps. The real transformation that comes from deciding you are worthy of the discipline it takes to become her. Becoming her isn't about becoming someone entirely new. She's already within you. The potential, the strength, the clarity. You just need the discipline to unlock her. Discipline isn't punishment, it's your daily bridge to the version of yourself you've been waiting for. Each small, consistent step builds momentum. Each choice you make towards her is the proof that she's real, she's capable, and she's unstoppable. Starting today, commit to one daily habit for the next 66 days. It could be journaling, moving your body, reading, meditating, or any action that aligns with her. You want to step in, track it, share it, hold yourself accountable. Let each day's effort be a message to yourself. I am capable. I am consistent. I am her. And I want to hear from you. Who is her? Describe her in the comments below. What's one habit you're committing to today to step into her? Thanks for watching. Remember, discipline isn't about restriction, it's about freedom. Until next time, stay grounded, keep showing up, and be intentional. Bye.